Hello students, Miss Slyman here with your next video. This one is on solving by factoring, and I'm really going to go through the steps of factoring here. So this is a great video if you need a refresher on factoring and if you want to see the way that I teach factoring. So first of all, if we're going to solve by factoring, it has to be equal to 0. So I'm going to move the 25 to the other side. That's going to give me x squared minus 8x minus 9 equals 0. And then for any sort of quadratic in the form ax squared plus bx plus c, I'm going to make this x to help me think of the numbers to help me factor. So in the middle here is going to be my bx. So these are numbers that sum to bx. And down here is my product, ax squared times c, and I want numbers that give me this same product. So I'm trying to fill in terms here that satisfy these conditions. So if we look at our specific example here, then my bx value is negative 8x. My product of ax squared times c, well, that's 1x squared times negative 9, so negative 9x squared. So I want terms here that are going to add up to give me 8x, negative 8x, and multiply to give me negative 9x squared. Well, that's negative 9x and positive 1x. There's always going to be an x here because I have to have like terms in order to add them. All right, now that I have these values become the new bx terms. So I'm going to come down, I'm going to rewrite this, except I'm going to replace my bx with these two terms. So I'll have x squared. Now I'm going to replace my negative 8x with negative 9x plus 1x, and I'll rewrite the c value, minus 9 equals 0. And then I've got these really nice little groups. So looking at this group, looking at this group. In this group, I have a common factor of x, which leaves me with x times x minus 9, plus in this group, I see no common factors at all, but I know that 1 is always a common factor. And now, this will always, always, always happen if you factored correctly. Now I have another common factor, and I have a common factor for the whole left side here. That common factor is x minus 9. So if I'm factoring out, I'm thinking what product, what can I multiply so that I'll have another true statement? Well, x times x minus 9 plus 1 times x minus 9. If I factor out the x minus 9 and I'm trying to make the same equation, so I would have to multiply x minus 9 times an x, and then x minus 9 times a positive 1. And there I have created factored form. I have two factors now. If you want to check and make sure you're right, of course you could FOIL this back out, multiply out your brackets. You should end up with this expression. And from there, of course, we would collect our like terms, end up back with our original expression. But we don't want to work backwards. We want to keep working forwards. Our directions are to solve. So we're solving these quadratics. We're looking for the solutions. Well, now what we've said here is we've got this product. And the product means that this whole quantity multiplied by this whole quantity has to be 0. Well, the only way to multiply two numbers and get an answer of 0 is if one of the factors is 0. So that means that x minus 9 would have to be equal to 0, or x plus 1 would have to be equal to 0. So think about this. If all of x minus 9 was 0, 0 times anything would be 0. If x plus 1 was 0, any number times 0 is 0. Well, of course, to make this 0, x would have to be 9. So let's think about that. 9 minus 9 times 9 plus 1 That gives me 0 times 10, which is 0. That checks. But more so, I want to make sure it checks in my original. So coming back to my original, I'm going to keep my checks in the same place. So I originally had x squared minus 8x plus 16 equals 25. So let's check this out. 9 squared minus 8 times 9 plus 16. 81 minus 72 is 9, plus 16 does equal 25, so that checks. Over here, for this solution to be 0, x would have to be -1. So -10 times 0 is 0, but let's check it back in the original. -1 squared minus 8 times -1 plus 16. That's going to be +1 plus 9 plus 16. That's something wrong. Oh, not 9. 8 times 1 is only 8. All right, so 9 plus 16 does equal 25. So these are my two solutions, x equals 9 or x equals -1.